Arrogant Daughter of a Billionaire, Part 2. The night air was thick with the scent of burning suya and exhaust fumes as Zara Adewale stood outside the mansion, her arms crossed over her designer dress. The world felt like it was tilting beneath her feet. Her phone buzzed. She snatched it from her handbag, hoping for a last-minute rescue. Insufficient funds. A cold shiver ran through her. This isn't happening. Her father's security had already changed the locks. Her driver, after a quick apology, had driven off. Even her assistant Amoka, who always seemed terrified of her, had muttered a weak "I'm sorry" more before disappearing. Zara looked around. The streets of Ikoyi were mostly quiet at night, but she felt exposed. Vulnerable. She had never stepped outside without a driver or bodyguard, and now she was alone. She reached for her phone again and dialed her best friend, Tenny. "Tenny, I need you to come pick me up." Silence. Then a laugh. "Babe, didn't your dad cut you off? I can't be associating with someone who's broke. My father warned me." The call went dead. Zara's jaw tightened. Tenny, the same friend who had begged her for free vacations and designer bags, had dropped her the moment she lost her wealth. Her hands clenched into fists. She refused to cry. She was Zara Adewale. She would figure this out. The harsh reality. Hours later, she found herself wandering aimlessly through the streets of Lagos. She had ditched her heels, they were impossible to walk in for long distances. Her feet ached, her stomach grumbled, and every passing car felt like a reminder of what she had lost. She found a quiet bench near a closed shop and sat down, hugging herself for warmth. People passed by, barely sparing her a glance. Is this how the other half lived? Invisible. She had never thought about it before. As dawn approached, exhaustion took over, and she dozed off, only to be woken by a sharp voice. "You can't sleep here, madam." A market woman stood over her, hands on her hips. She looked at Zara's designer dress and scoffed. "See this one. Big madam, why you dey sleep for outside?" Zara opened her mouth to snap back but stopped herself. What was the point? She got up and started walking, her body screaming in protest. She needed food. She needed a plan. A lesson in survival. By noon, Zara found herself in the heart of Balegan Market, a place she had only ever visited from the safety of her air-conditioned SUV. The noise, the shouting, the smell of frying puff-puff, it was all overwhelming. She stood awkwardly in front of a small shop where a young woman was arranging bottles of soda. "Excuse me," Zara said, her voice hoarse. "I need a job." The shopkeeper, a girl about her age with bright eyes and a skeptical expression, looked her up and down. "You?" She laughed. "You won't work here. You fit carry carton." Zara hesitated. Her hands had never lifted anything heavier than a shopping bag. But she was starving. "I can try," she muttered. The girl smirked. "Okay, madam fine girl. You fit sweep first." Zara bit her lip. Sweep. A week ago, she would have laughed in someone's face for suggesting such a thing. Now, she grabbed the broom and started sweeping. For the first time in her life, Zara Adewale was working. A different kind of wealth. Days turned into weeks. Zara adjusted. She learned how to bargain with customers, how to carry crates of drinks, how to survive on little. She still had moments where frustration threatened to consume her, especially when she saw girls she used to party with, walking by without a second glance, but she pushed through. One evening, as she was closing the shop, she turned to her boss, the same girl who had laughed at her that first day. "Ada," Zara said hesitantly. "Why did you hire me?" Ada leaned against the counter, crossing her arms. "Because I wanted to see if a rich girl could actually work." She grinned. Surprised me, sure. You dey try. Zara laughed for the first time in weeks. For the first time in her life, she was earning something for herself. And it felt good. A father's pride. Unknown to her, a black SUV had been parked across the street for the past hour. Inside, Chief Adewale watched his daughter through the tinted windows. She looked different, thinner, sun-kissed, her once perfect nails now chipped. But there was something else in her posture. Strength. Pride swelled in his chest. He had done the right thing. Zara was no longer just the arrogant daughter of a billionaire. She was becoming something more.